Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Yes, the first show of 2014, and we're back. First up on the list, the brand new WRX is going to get an older brother, well, a little bit bigger brother, if you will. The new STI version is going to be making its official debut at the Detroit Motor Show, and as it will be an upgrade from the standard WRX, we're expecting a bunch of suspension upgrades and a little bit of body changes, not to mention a lot of aero tweaks, and a little bit bigger lump underneath the hood. The 2-liter 4-cylinder flat 4 that's turbocharged is actually going to be replaced with the standard formula, the 2.5-liter flat turbocharged 4. We're hearing just a touch over 300 brake horsepower. Little same old when it comes to this particular model. So we'll get official details when this vehicle makes its official debut at the Detroit Motor Show. Next up on the list, if you remember the old F60 Enzo Ferrari, they only made 399 of these vehicles, and once they were all sold, that rarity held in tight as this vehicle was selling for upwards of around $2 million soon afterwards on the used car market. Well, that hasn't actually been the exact same situation, at least we're expecting it to, with the brand new Ferrari, the LaFerrari, or the F70 Ferrari. This particular vehicle is getting the same kind of treatment. A brand new LaFerrari is sitting at a Munich dealership, Cinco, and they're asking for a pretty hefty premium on this particular model. The vehicle sold brand new for 1.3 million euros or 1.77 million US dollars. But they're asking for 2.38 million euros or 3.2 million US dollars. Now the vehicle only has 124 miles on it, which is pretty soft as far as the mileage is concerned, which did let out some of the most interesting comments. Was it only took 124 miles for them to get tired of it? I'm thinking it's more along the lines they had 124 miles of fun and now it's time to turn a buck on this car. So we'll be anxiously awaiting to see if this vehicle sells at that Munich dealership. We'll keep you in tune if it does. Next up on the list, the brand new Z28 gets official pricing coming out right now. Now, let's get a little refresher course if you don't remember what the Z28 is all about. This is the hardcore track edition of the Chevrolet Camaro. This vehicle gets magnetic ride control, advanced suspension settings, not to mention carbon ceramic brakes, lots of aero work to help this thing be glued to the road, and the Chevrolet boffins got in there and deleted enough stuff to lose over 300 pounds of weight in this vehicle. Now the biggest upgrade is underneath the hood. It's the LS7 7-liter 427 cubic inch small block V8, putting out over 500 brake horsepower and 470 pounds-feet of torque. Now the vehicle does lose a little bit as far as the option list, but you can buy this automobile right now for $75,000 US dollars, which sounds a little expensive for an automobile that doesn't come with air conditioning or a sound system that has more than one speaker in it. But don't you worry, because there is an option for that. You can upgrade to air conditioning and a 6-speaker sound system for another $1,150 US dollars. It'd be very interesting to see how many cars are sold without that. I'm assuming only the cars that are actually going to serve a lot of track time. You don't want to add all that weight back to that automobile. Pretty neat piece of kit from the folks over at General Motors, and it'll be going on sale at GM dealerships very soon. And during the break when we were off, big sad news. It was actually on December 29th of 2013 that Michael Schumacher and one of his sons were actually skiing in the French Alps. In an off little chute of one of the trails, Mr. Schumacher fell and hit his head on a rock. Now, Mr. Schumacher was wearing a helmet at the time, but the injury was pretty massive. Early reports were that he was alert and awake and a little bit aggravated with some of the rescuers, but that was later squashed when he actually arrived at the first hospital over there in the French Alps, and he was unconscious in a coma. Now, he was since moved to a different hospital because of the amount of damage that was done to him. That was better served actually to be able to help him in his situation. That's the Grenoble hospital in France. This particular hospital is a big neurosurgeon hospital. Now, what we've got here is massive brain injuries when it comes to this. Lots of hematomas, lots of hemorrhaging on the brain, and lots of lesions on the brain as well. Now, they did an initial surgery and saw a little bit of improvement. In fact, enough that they did some more scans to him and found that the improvement was well enough that they thought they could do another surgery to try to relieve some of the pressure on the brain. And they removed some more of the hemorrhaging and the hematomas that were there. Now, this particular surgery actually removed a little bit more, and there was a little bit more of improvement. But since then, we have heard very little from the French hospital. Only his press officer actually came out, and she actually made a little statement about him. Would have been New Year's Day, but it was very little improvement has been going on since. Now, that being said, Mr. Schumacher is in stable condition, even though he is in critical condition. But the trick is, the brain is a very tricky piece of kit. So he could be in a coma, we're hearing, from everywhere from 6 months to a year as he tries to heal from this deal. Now, he's in a medically induced coma. There are people that have come out of medically induced comas and have turned out relatively fine, but it's a long road to hoe for Mr. Schumacher. There was also some stuff coming out that he actually had a running camera, a GoPro on his helmet, and that's actually been given to the officials to try to figure out what exactly happened to Mr. Schumacher in the last little times before the accident happened. All of us here at Motor Cars Enthusiasts send our best well wishes and our prayers to Mr. Schumacher, his family, all his friends who are going through a very, very difficult time, as this is a slow recovery process, especially with him being in that coma. So we're all sending our best wishes, and we ask you to do the same. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this week's Motor Cars Enthusiasts. If you want to jump on over to the Facebook page, the link's down in the show notes. Also, if you want to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time and get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again real soon.